Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Invitation to Puzzles. Today we have a Region Sum Lines puzzle by Pwinn, who's appeared on the channel a couple times before, as well as a good sushi companion for dinner. So don't eat anyway. What is a region sum line? So that's these blue lines that appear within the grid. And you're supposed to, the region part is referencing that you're supposed to look at the boxes. And so you divide this line into pieces. So in this case, there's the orange piece, the purple piece, the green piece, and the yellow piece. And what being a region sum line means is that all four of these pieces have the same sum. So these three digits have the same sum as these two, have the same sum as these two. And all three of these sum to whatever that number is in this particular instance. Okay. It's important to note that there are lots of region sum lines within the grid, but each of them can have a different sum or not. There's no requirement about whether they are the same or different. So what I learned about this region sum line doesn't tell me anything about this region sum line directly through the rules. Okay. So one way to think about this is that these things are a lot like arrows. So for example, if you just pictured this being a circle and then a line going through like this would basically literally be an arrow, because what this line is saying is that this digit is the sum of these three, just like a regular length 3 arrow. So if you're looking for a place to start, that is a very reasonable place to start looking at in a puzzle like this. But with that, I'm going to get going, but there's a link down in the description, so if you want to give it a try yourself first. If you find yourself getting stuck, feel free to come back to the video, or if you just want to watch me do it, by all means. But let's see what we can do. So the first thing I see is this thing, which is, I think, very reasonable to treat as a 3-cell arrow, because that digit is, again, the sum of these three. But because of the given 1, this being the key piece here, these three are minimum 2, 3, 4, which is 9. And that's the maximum this cell can be because it's only one digit. So in fact, these are a 2, 3, 4. That's a 9 that we get. Let's see. We do have... this is the sum of 3 digits. As well. So if you think about this digit, it's the sum of 3 digits. And so sum of 3 distinct digits is always at least 6. It's not 7, of course. This one actually can't be 6. And this has to do with the fact that actually if I sort of combine these two together, so I've combined here 2 region sum lines. So the purple cells have the same sum as the yellow cells. Well, the purple cells are minimum 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is 15, if I've done that correctly. And so these two need to sum to at least 15. So this can't be a 6, in fact. We've done that trick in arrow puzzles before on the channel at times. Now, a thing that's probably worth also noting, I don't 100% promise it's worth noting, but it might be worth noting, is that means these 5 cells all sum to a maximum of 16. If you do some math, again, the minimum is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 15, but they could sum to 16 if it's 7 and 9, but they can't get any bigger than that. And so the only way to make a sum of 16 is actually with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. And so what that tells us is, in fact, these numbers are all from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And in fact, if you want, we actually know that we have to have a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4 in these cells in order to possibly make that work, because if we didn't include any of 1, 2, 3, or 4, these 5 cells would sum too much. So for example, let's just say I omitted 4, then these 5 cells would be minimum 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Well, that's 17. That's too many. So you can check my claim here. In general, the way I think about it is I have one wiggle room because the minimum sum is 15. for these, and the maximum sum is 16, so that's usually called a degree of freedom if you want to use fancy words that make you sound smart. And so that 1 degree of freedom says I can exceed the minimum by 1, which means I can really only touch the 5, so I can replace the 5 with a 6. And that's because if I try and say remove the 3, that actually has the effect of that I push more than 1 digit up by 1. And if I push more than 1 digit up by 1, I've pushed the total up by more than 1. Okay. I did all of that so that I could note, I don't know how useful this is going to be immediately, that there's a 7 living its best life up here. Looking over there, although I see perhaps what I actually should be saying. Maybe this isn't quite there yet. But this cell also, I should note, this is also a 6, 7, 8, 9, because if you look at it, this cell is the sum of these 3. So sum of 3 digits is, again, always at least 6. So we've got another 6, 7, 8, 9 over here. Or whatever that is worth. Oh, this cell. Oh, okay, yeah, I probably should have seen this before. This cell's also the sum of 3 digits. So this is also a 6, 7, 8, or 9, but it sees a 7 and an 8. So this is a 6 or a 9. And so that is a triple in this box, a 6, 7, 8, 9 triple, in which the 6 is over here. So I can note there's no 6s in these cells. And now I know what this digit, in fact, is. And the reason I know what this digit is because I have a 2, 3, 4 triple, a 6, 8, 9 triple, and a 1, a 7, and a 1 and a 7 in the box. And so this is the only digit that's left, which is a 5. So that digit is not a 5. Okay, so... okay, and now we do our trick from before, but I do it in the right place instead of the wrong place. So now I say that if I take these 2 purple cells, their minimum sum is the sum of the yellow, because the purple cells here have the same sum as the yellows. That's putting 2 region sum lines together. Just we're repeating the trick we did up here. But again, that means the minimum sum of the yellow cells is 15. So the minimum sum of the purple cells is 15. But one of them is 6, so therefore neither of them can possibly be 8. So they have to be 6 and 9 exactly. And these therefore have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 exactly. And now that 6, 9 pair tells me that this is an 8, which also tells me, please note, that these now all sum to 15 because of the purple-yellow trick. And so there's no 6 in here. And so now I'm going to knock off my corner marks from here. But I am going to notice now these digits are exactly 6, 7, 8, 9. Those two not being 7, that one not being 9, that one not being 8. This one's not 9 either, actually, because, well, there's 2 reasons. One of which is that there's a 6-9 pair looking up at it, so it's neither 6 nor 9. The other reason is that this little dinky short region sum line, it just says these 2 digits are the same, whereas this one is plainly not 9 because there's a 9 in the box, so this is a 7 or an 8 over there. We can do exactly the same thing in this box, where we can say, okay, these digits are now, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a quintuple in the other cells, these are 6, 7, 8, 9. But now, beautifully, this cell is a naked 6. And so, therefore, that is a 6. And that's going to give us a lot of damage, because now that is a naked 9, making that a 7 and an 8, making that an 8 and a 7, which gets tricked across the line. Making these a 6-9 pair of some description. It's probably worth actually asking myself if I know anything about this sum to 8. And I definitely know one thing about this sum to 8, which is that if you have 3 cells which together sum to 8, one of them has to be a 1. There's really 2 options. It's either 1, 2, 5 or 1, 3, 4. But we know which one is the 1, namely it's definitely that one. There's no 1 over here. Let's see. Speaking of places where there's not a 1, not a 5. Let's see. These are either 2, 3, 4, or they also have a 1, because it could be 1, 2, 3, perhaps. Yeah, and so this is 2, 5, or 3, 4. Okay, and this is a 2-cell sum to 8, and I think we know what 2-cell sum to 8 it is, because there's 3 ways to do a 2-cell sum to 8 if the digits can't be the same. The fourth is 4, 4, but we don't have to worry about these being 4, 4. So one of them is 1, 7. One of them is 2, 6, which is the one this is, and the other is 3, 5, which it can't be because of this. So actually, we get to sort this out with this 2, 6 pair, looking down with that 9 and that 6. Okay, that 2, 6 pair, by the way, looks down here and says this is not a 2. And then it also says by this column, actually, the only things I don't have because of this 2, 6 pair are a 3 and a 4. So this digit here is a 3 or a 4 for whatever that is worth. It's funny, actually, if you look over here, you actually see that these pairs each sum to 7, because this one together with that sums to 8. So that means these two sum to 7, and these two just sum to 7 by the given line. So we don't, I suppose, have to worry about that immediately. Okay, in the world where this is 6, this is 2, 4. What about this? Do I know what this is? This is a 2-cell sum to 7. So I think it could be 1, 6. It can't be 2, 5. And it looks like it could be 3, 4, but it can't actually be 3, 4. And the reason why it can't be 3, 4 is quite cute, which is just imagine for a second that this is 3, 4. And then ask yourself what's going on with these cells, which is that these cells are a 1, 2, 3, 4 quintuple. Which is to say there are 5 cells that contain 5 different digits, because they're in the same row of a Sudoku puzzle, and no 2 of those digits are the same. Well, that doesn't work, because 1, 2, 3, and 4 is only 4 numbers, and we need these to have 5 values. So we have to avoid making a 4-digit quintuple in row 9. And we would do that if we made this a 3, 4. So it's not a 3, 4, it's a 1, 6, which is then going to sort out that that's a 9 and that's a 6. This now, if I look at it, it's now a 2-cell sum to 6. There's 2 of those other than 3, 3. One of them is 1, 5, so it's not that one. So this is 2, 4, which sorts out that that's a 3. Uh-oh. I broke the puzzle, didn't I? Oh, I understand how I broke the puzzle. It's because these two don't sum to 6. These two sum to 9. Let's try again. Okay. The reason I broke the puzzle, by the way, was exactly the same reason as we just did in row 9, which is that I had 5 cells from 2, 3, 4, 5, and that was too many cells in row 8 to have from 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's try again, but more good. So what is this? So it's not 1, 8. There's a 1 in the row. It could certainly be 2, 7. It's not 3, 6. And actually, it's not 4, 5 either. And it's not 4, 5 for the reason that, again, if these were 4, 5, that would be 5 cells in row 8, all taking values from 2, 3, 4, 5. That's only 4 digits because there's no 1 in it. That's not going to work. So therefore, this has to be 2, 7. Here's a different way to say that if you want, if you're into this kind of thing. You can think about Sudoku, which is that I have 2 9s looking across, and I can ask where the 9 therefore goes in box 9. And it can't go on this line because these 2 cells sum to 9. If you put a 9 on them, it's definitely not going to sum to 9. And so, in fact, that digit's a 9. And now you ask where the 7 goes in this row, and actually just from center marks, you know it goes here, so this has to be 2, 7. Or alternatively, if you want to 14th way to think about it. You could have even noticed by Sudoku that 7 was actually ruled out of this cell, and so it was placed on here in row 8. That would be the weirder spot. But you could definitely do it if you were scanning for that sort of thing. So now these are a 2, 7. These are 3, 4, 5. Now, one thing these being 3, 4, 5 means is that there's a 5 in one of these two cells, because this is a 3, 4, 5 triple in which the 5 isn't here, so it's in one of these two. It means that's not 5. I probably should be more responsible, though, and note that, remember, these two cells sum to 6, not the two cells I tried to make add to 6. So therefore, neither of them is 3, for sure, because of what I noted about if they're 3, then you need 2 3s, and I can't put 2 3s here. And so if this is 4, 5, then this is 1, 2 to sort of complement my 4, 5 that I have over here. Okay, let's do some further Sudoku. So we've got a 1, 6 pair here, which rules 1 out of these, and now actually tells me that this 3-cell 9 sum does not have a 1 in it anywhere. And that uniquely describes 2, 3, 4. So in fact, these are 2, 3, 4, which makes this 5 and this 1 in order to make that work. Let's see. And so now we ask ourselves, what is left in this row? Or what's left in this box? Oh yeah, what's left in this box? That's a great question. Or if you prefer, where does 2 go in this box? Take your pick either way. But what's left in this box? We've got the 1, we've got the 2. We don't have a 3, a 4, or a 5. And then we've got the 6, the 7, the 8, and the 9. So these are actually a 3, 4, 5 triple, making that a 2, which is going to do some damage up here. Because remember, these 2 sum to 7, so they're not 2, 5 anymore. So now they are 3, 4. These therefore aren't 3, 4. These are 2, 5. Let's see. We've got some triple over here in this column that I might fill in, which is that we still need a 1. We've got the 2, the 3, the 4. We need a 5. We've got the 6. We've got the 7, and we need an 8. Okay, so these 2 sum to 12, which they can do as 5, 7, or 4, 8. Or 3, 9, which all seem like reasonable options to me. Okay, so maybe we should look at some Sudoku and ask ourselves something like, where does 9 go in row 4? And I think it's sneaky placed, because it's not... We have the 9s here, so it's definitely in one of these 3. Well, it's not that one because of that 9. And it's also not this one because of that 9, because if this was 9, that would also be 9, and it would clash with this 9. So actually the 9 is placed in row 4 here, which I should remember places a 9 here as well, owing to the way the world works. Now, I know that neither of these is 8. I'm just looking at that because I see the 8 looking up from behind, so the 8 is ruled out of these. So one of these is an 8. I don't know if that's at all interesting. Well, it's not that one, I guess, because there's an 8 below it. That doesn't look... Oh, this is much easier than that. I have done this in a completely convoluted way that was not at all, I think, necessary. Which is that when I got that this was a 6, I also learned that these cells sum to 6, which means they're definitely 1, 2, 3. It's the only way that they could possibly sum to 6. But now the minimum that these two cells can be is 4 and 5, which means that the total sum of this line needs to be at least 9. Well, I'm not going to get that with this being a 1, so I can at least say that this is, it could be 4 plus 5 is the only way that this could work. Funnily enough, in that instance, this would also be 4 plus 5. Okay, and so these also sum to 6, I might as well mark, so they're 1, 5, or 2, 4. I don't think I have anything exciting to tell you about which of those things is the truth. But now I can certainly fill in that these are 4, 5, and 8. Except we know which one is the 8 because Sudoku. So these, in fact, do sum to 9. So this can't actually be an 8, because if this was an 8, the sum would be 11 or 12. So this is a 5 and this is a 4 to make the sum 9. These two sum to 9. I don't think I know how yet, but that's a 3 and that's a 4. So that's a 4. We've got a lot of sort of, good Sudoku action happening over here. That's not a 5, so that's not a 1. That's probably not quite in the category of good Sudoku action. Over here, we've got a 4, 5, and a 2, 3 somewhere. So I fill that in only so that I can mark that this cell is also 2, 3, 4, 5. That gives us the sort of the skeleton, if you will, of a quadruple. We almost have a quadruple in this column. Of 2, 3, 4, and 5, but not quite. These can't... Okay, so what can these be? So they can't be 1, 8, because there's 8s looking up at both cells. I think they can be 2, 7. If they are 2, 7, Sven is kindly telling us they're 2, 7 in this order. They can't be 3, 6, because neither cell can be 6. And they can't be 4, 5, because if these were 4, 5, well, that one's not 4, 5, because it's got a 4, 5 looking up at it. So in fact, we actually learn that these are 2 and 7, which makes these 6 and 2. That rules 2 out of this mess of cells. Okay, and so now in particular, if I look at this closely, I'll see there's no 2 in either of these, so that means there's no 4 in either of them. Which means that's 1 and 5. So now there's no 5 in either of these cells. Let's see. That is a 6 and a 1. That's a 3 and a 2. No 5 to be had there. Okay, there's a triple up here, which I'm interested in, because we've got our 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need a 5, a 6, we've got a 7, and we need an 8. So indeed, actually, that's very helpful, because that is just an 8, a 6, and a 5, making that a 1 and an 8, which means these three sum to 11, and they sum to an 11 without a 1. So that is interesting. Okay, so what's the minimum these cells can be? And so... there's no 1 to go around, so you'd think, the minimum is 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's no 4 even. I don't even have to do that. I was going to say it can't be a 3, 4 pair on here because of this 3, 4 and go over that. But in fact, actually, they're just not 4 because of the row, or 5 because of the box. So actually, the minimum that they can possibly be is 2, 3, 6. But that means they are 2, 3, 6 because that sum is 11. I can't make it any bigger than that. So that's a 2, 3, 6 triple. That makes that a 4, makes that a 4, which is going to do a lot of chasing. Let's see, those two aren't 4, so that one is. That is the other digit. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's an 8. Let's see. Okay, so... let's see, that's not a 3. Okay, and so I do still need to use that these two sum to 12. But if you recall, there's 3 options for 12, or just redo it in your head if you want. They're not 3, 9, because we've used the 9. They're not 4, 8, because the 4 is in the box. So they're 5, 7, and we actually know the order of the 5 and the 7. 3 and 5, 2 and 7, 3 up there, 2, 5, 1. Let's see, no more 3s to go around up here. And let's fill in the rest of these. So what is this? This is a pair of 6 and 8. So that's the 6 and that's the 8. One of these is a 1. One of them is a 2. Good. So let's see. We've got a 3 up here somewhere. And a 7 up. No, not a 7. Try again. And a 9. One of these is a 1 and it's that one. One of them's a 4, and it's that one. Let's see. This row is missing a 7. This row is missing a 9. This row is missing a 3. very lovely puzzle there from Pwinn. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something. This is one of my favorite constraints, I will say. It's sort of not, it's in the, like, it's no Renbon. Nothing can be a Renbon, but, right below Renbon, we've got region sumlines as being a really nice constraint. So very nice puzzle there by Pwinn. I hope you enjoy that. If you did enjoy that, do please give the video a like. Consider subscribing and checking out. We've got puzzle videos on lots of kinds of puzzles. So if you want to try an intro puzzle from a whole bunch of different genres and find out what your favorite is, we have a veritable sample platter around the channel, as well as we also have Let's Plays of a number of puzzle-themed video games. So do go check out our content if you have not before. See if anything else there speaks to you. And if you are enjoying a lot of the content, consider a YouTube membership. It helps support the stream and channel financially, and we greatly appreciate that because it helps us know that people are enjoying the content and that we should continue doing it. And as always, leave me a nice comment down below if you learned something in the video and you want to share it, or if there's a genre of puzzle that you would like a tutorial of, or a specific puzzle, let me know down below. Also, if you're a more experienced Sudoku person, or pencil puzzle person, and you want to make puzzles for this series, I do take open submissions for this series. So if you make a puzzle for the series and you want to submit it, I'll try it. If it hits the right difficulty and these sorts of things for the series, great. Or if you already have an intro puzzle that sort of follows the vibe of this series in any sort of genre, feel free to just throw it in on the Discord and I might pick it up. All right, that is enough outro for me for today, but I'll see you real soon. Bye for now.